How are you getting on, folks? Look at not necessarily the greatest of days there today. Um, look, we just got a few of them wrong. In terms of what we got right. Um, Obviously, look at Happy Go Lucky was a very impressive winner. Um, that's basically all we did get. We got the forecast for Shishkin's race, but realistically, look at it wasn't anything really worth shouting about. I was hoping for a bit of a better day, but look at it I suppose with the luck that we had for yesterday, we can't really complain too much. Look at it was a great festival overall, and look at Rachel Blackmore made more history, more so than making just regular history. Like, she's been an absolute revelation this year. Like, really, this year more so than anything. She's really started to, I suppose, come into her own now and start really showing exactly what she can do. Um, I think the day of the lady rider is long gone now. I think it's going to be the case where everyone is going to be seen as equal if they haven't already been. Um, she is an absolute superstar. She's a different breed. She is definitely, in my opinion anyway, one of the best jockeys there is around. And I'm sure there's more than me would say that about her. Moving on to tomorrow, to be quite honest with you, um, I can't see this being too good of a day for me. Look at Leopardstown, the flat meeting. Obviously, look at the people that would know me, would know that I'm more of a national hunt man now, more so than anything else. And I I tend to do better on the national hunt than I do with the flat. But we're going to give it a bash. We're going to try our luck. And look at hopefully we are going to get on the back of plenty of winners now today. First race off the 140. And Aidan O'Brien has a fairly sharp price favourite in here. One that I wouldn't necessarily be going for. I think the fact that it's a 1 mile race, looking down the breeding, it seems a little bit short for him. I know his dam was I suppose from a 1 mile family, but realistically, I'd imagine that, I suppose, a step up in, not necessarily a massive step up in trip, but um, a step up in trip nonetheless would definitely suit this lad more. Um, I think realistically it's going to be a little bit too sharp for him. Like, he was beaten a long way back, um, on on his last start when he was 4-5 favorite over this distance. Now I know ground conditions are massively different and everything else like that. Um, so you would have to consider him anyway. And coming from Aidan O'Brien as well, you definitely would be, I suppose, doing it at your peril going against them. But we are going to be going with Jessica Harrington's horse here, ridden by Shane Foley, called O'Reilly, currently priced at 6-4. This one here looks definitely very, very interesting. It was second on debut over course and distance. Very, very well bred. It's a Frankel Colt, I think. Frankel Colt. Um, the breeding says it all. He costs 260,000 for a year, for I suppose, as a yearling. So, like, if the breeding doesn't say it all, the price tag certainly does. I think the outside draw is not necessarily going to be um too much of a hindrance to him now tomorrow. I think if the horse is classy enough, and as I suppose the proof in the pudding, as what it says on the tin, he is a over $250,000 horse, that cost $250,000 for as a yearling. I think that this horse here could potentially be a very, very special sort. Shane Foley's been in great form. Jessica Harrington's been in decent enough form in the flat as well. And I would imagine that this horse is going to take plenty of stop. And I think this sort of course and this sort of distance is going to be to this lad's favour more so than the Aidan O'Brien favourite. 210, and this one here is going to hold the nap of the day for me. And this one here, I will be going with the Group 3 winner, A Case of You, currently priced around 3-1 for Ado McGuinness and Ronan Whelan. Look, at realistically, this lad here definitely holds an awful lot of aces. When you look back at the fact that this is a listed standard now, it's slightly it's a slight drop in class. He's drawn in stall 8, not necessarily too bad. Seems to be a fairly decent enough draw altogether. Realistically, if this lad's in any sort of form at all, I would imagine that this lad is going to, I suppose, put the nail to the sword and go on to be a fairly, not necessarily a fairly easy winner. It's a wide open race, but I'd imagine that he's going to be definitely winning this race at some sort of standard anyway. Look, at it's a drop in class. It's off level weights. I think it's off level weights anyway. Just giving a quick stroll through. Most of these are off 9 stone 5, and a couple are off 9 stone 8. So look at it, it's level weights, you could say, and he's dropped down in class. I think he's going to be far too good for this field, looking at that. And he should be a very, very hard horse to beat. 240 then, and this one here, I will be going with an each way aspect on this. I am all about Mena at 14-1. I think this one here is definitely very, very interesting, very nicely bred. She is a realistic, a savage sort of a stamp. When when you look at the form of the Dundalk race, the second Fantasy Lady went on then to win a listed race in the Curragh, beating Sense of Style, La Jacond, High Heels, Cycladic, Alligar, April Showers, Earth Strike, Darragh Jazz, and so on and so forth. So, look, at realistically, I think that definitely says it all. I think the fact that the form has been backed up, the fact that this horse was a length and a quarter on debut, and I suppose on debut is another thing as well. You could understand, say, if the horse didn't really go well, just looking at the race and post, I suppose, summary of the race. 12 start in rear early, soon settled in rear of midfield, pushed along in 11th, 3 furlongs out, headway near side over 1 furlong. Chase leaders ridden and ran on well inside final furlong to lead near finish readily. So that to me definitely says it was a little bit inexperienced, a little bit, I suppose you could call it a little bit green, and a little bit just getting to know the I suppose the ways and means about actually going about and winning a race. I think that experience alone is definitely going to settle it. The fact that the second went on to win enlisted company as well definitely speaks highly of this sort of a horse, and just how much potential this horse has. She is by Frankel, out of Ashira. I think I'm saying that name right, Ashira. So realistically, I would be imagining this over a mile. So look, possibly it's a little bit short, but the fact that it stayed on well over the same distance in Dundalk that particular day, I think that's definitely going to stand to it. If it settles any way better, I think it's going to be fairly decent and should be fairly hard to beat. I just think that there's something about it, and at a price of 14-1, it's definitely well worth an each way punt. I think this horse has definitely got plenty of class about it, and it should be definitely one going into the flat season to really, really consider. 315, and this one here is another bit of a head boggler. Um, I can't really make head nor tail of this sort of a race, but I will be going at an each way punt with, if I can find them, uh, Mudlahim. I could be butchering that name now, but I think that's the way it's pronounced. Currently priced at, look at, he's currently priced at 7-1. I think if this horse can come on, I suppose, come on for the run and come on into this sort of company, he's going to be a fairly decent sort. Now, he's been gelded since his last win, which is definitely interesting. Now, that to me definitely says that, well, the only thing it really says to me is that he's been acting up at home and he's not really been concentrating on his work. Hopefully the Geldon operation is after doing wonders and he's got his mind on the job now instead of looking for the nearest mare to cover. But I think, look at realistically, if the horse can come on for the Geldon operation and everything else like that, it's going to be definitely thereabouts. It's already a winner on the track. Keep a close eye on Pulse of Shanghai. We're going to this lad's daddy now in the next couple of weeks. It's definitely a horse I've been keeping a very, very close eye on. There's an awful lot of ones by his name. I think this Pulse of Shanghai is going to be a very big threat, but the fact that he's drawn out fairly wide is a big worry for me. And I just think Mudlahim, if settling better from stall 5 with Chris Hayes on his back, Chris Hayes, he could follow him into hell. He's so talented as a jockey. But I'm going to put the nail to the sword and I'm going to say Mudlahim, currently priced at 7-1, is definitely well worth an each way punt. 345, and this one here holds a fairly sharp price favorite for O'Brien as well. And I know, look at, he's going to have to get one of them, but I'm going to go for an outsider here, and it's going to be an O'Brien outsider with Loch Durg, currently priced at 7-1. We're yet to see this horse's limitations. I think he looks very, very classy. I think the last win he's had, it's realistically he's a Galileo, so he's going to like a bit of a stamina test, and I think this is exactly what he's going to get from it. I know this Bolshoi Ballet definitely looks to be a very smart sort. He is 6-4. Whether, look, it's hard to know. I'm not really sure what to make of Ryan Moore this year. He's been a bit in and out. Now that's not saying that I think Ryan Moore's a bad jockey. I don't. Like, you have to be a good jockey to be a retained top jock for Mr. O'Brien. But realistically, I like Shamey Heffernan more in a finish. I think Shamey is an awful lot stronger. He can sort of judge a race a little bit better, and that's nothing really down to Ryan Moore. It's just that Shamey Heffernan is definitely one of the best jockeys in Ireland. I definitely hold my hand up and say that he's a very, very talented sort. Drawn in the box seat in stall 1. Look, I know it's all about how this horse breaks. The fact that it was a winner last time out definitely should show plenty of experience and different things like that. If it breaks well and gets a good run on the field, it should be a very, very hard horse to stop. And look at, we'll hope for Loch Durg to get among the places at 7-1. 420. Again, another each way shout for here. And I will be going for Verbal Fencing at 8-1 for Jim Bulger. Kevin Manning on board. Again, drawn in the box seat. I really, really like this lad. He ended the last season on a high. notching up notching up victories on the bounce. He's going for, I suppose, a belated hat trick, you could say, but Jim Bulger has been absolutely in flying form so far this season. He's put out some nice few winners. The first race of the day, or the first race of the flat season, he had the winner, and it was an outsider winner at that. I just think he's interesting. I think what's he gone up? He's gone up £8 for his last win. I think if Jim Bulger can work his magic on him, which I think he can, he's definitely got scope for more improvement. I think he's very, very dangerous to write off, especially coming from Jim Bulger's. Like he's definitely a nice looking sort, and he looks to be a very I suppose you could say a nice horse to be going into the season with. I just think, look at, if he can break well from the box seat, just having a quick look, he generally tends to break well, especially on his last win. And the time before that as well, he always picked up the lead from the I suppose the first furlong anyway. So I would imagine this lad's going to go from the front, or at least try and go from the front and play a bit of catch me if he can. If that's the case, I'd be hoping to see this lad stay. I suppose go for his third win on the bounce. But look at 8-1 is value definitely there, and it should be definitely availed of. 450, and this one here is going to be going with another one of the each way shouts, but it's going to be one of the more likelier winners in my opinion, with Nam currently priced at 6-1. I think this lad here is very, very nicely treated. He's coming in here on the back of or on a mark of 89. He's a former course winner. He's won over the same distance as well. Joey Sheridan takes another £5 off his back, which technically means he's running off a mark of 54. That's an incredibly low weight. He definitely looks to be fairly nicely treated. Just looking at Kai Big. Kai Big is drawn out in stall 10, and he has 10 stone 2 on his back with Ross Coakley on board. Now, I've been always a big fan of Kai Big. I think the ground is definitely going to suit him. I think if he can make light work of the wide draw, he's definitely going to be thereabouts in the finish. He looks very well handicapped, but I just think the fact that he has to give Nam a stone and a pound with a better draw as well. Don't forget. I just think I think that's going to be the making and breaking of it. I think Nam at 6-1 is, look at it, it's a wide open race. You can make cases for nearly every single one of these, but I just think Nam with Joey Sheridan on board, it's a pairing that I wouldn't like to go against, and therefore I think each way you're covering your cost and you're covering all angles, I think he's definitely going to be bang there in the finish. He's going to be a very, very strong contender. Finally, then, the last race of the day, and we're not going to save the best to last. We're going to save the next best till last. And I really, really hope Ballycanes for Brendan Murphy and Chris Hayes can do the job here. I think the fact that Chris Hayes is on board says an awful lot. Look at this lad here, has hit the crossbar on numerous occasions, and Brendan will be the first to say it as well. He's been very consistent, but he's also been so frustrating as well. But I just think he's coming in here. Chris Hayes, like I already said, you'd nearly follow him into hell itself. He's just so good. I don't know. I think 12-1 is massive value. I think if this lad can get a decent enough break, get out there and just get his way to the front and hug that rail and just lead them on a merry dance. Like I said, play a bit of catch me if you can and really, really put strain on them. I think he's going to be definitely an each way player of the day. And I think therefore he is definitely going to be the next best. Look at when you look at what he's done in Dundalk, he's been done by a neck, he's been done by a head, probably done by a short head as well. So look, realistically, he's going to be there at the line anyway. I definitely think so, providing Chris can get him out of the gates early and get over to that rail and just rock and roll out in front, and hopefully hopefully he doesn't die off in the finish. Brendan, if you're listening in, I want to wish you the very, very best of luck, my friend. I hope to God Ballycanes can do the job for you. But look, I'm going to leave it there. Please make sure to keep liking, sharing, and subscribing. For those who want to sign up to Patreon, I'll leave a link in the description below. Now, you're probably wondering why I'm not posting this on Facebook. To make a long story short, I'm on a bit of a Facebook ban. Something stupid, but look, we have to take what we get. I'll be away from Facebook for 3 days, unfortunately. So, look, I'm going to hopefully get more people subscribing to the channel, just in case these things happen again, and you're wondering where I'm after disappearing off the face of the earth. But look, I'm going to leave it there. For those who want to sign up to Patreon as well, I had another winner on Patreon there today. Lovely little 7-2 winner with what was the name of the horse again? I can't remember just off the top of my head. I think it was Kraken Find in was it Chepstow or Newcastle? I think it was Chepstow. No, it was Newcastle. Lovely little 7-2 winner, drifted like hell on the market. And look, it was lucky the fact that that Defi Sacra, just Jordan Naylor lost his irons going over the last, and I knew then, I says, well, only a fall is going to beat us now. And luckily enough, it was a very, very well timed ride. I look at, even saying that, I think if Defi Sacra still had his irons, I think we would have got the better of him. We were looking at very, very big danger to him anyway. But look, it just sealed the biscuit and put the icing on the cake for us. I'll leave a link in the description below. It's €10 a month. But what you get for that is definitely great, great value. Tips that return at a fairly healthy profit loss. As well as that, then you also get entry into the monthly giveaways as well. So look, at we're giving away a cash giveaway now this week. So if you want to be in with a chance of winning that, make sure and sign up. It's not too late. We're not doing the giveaway until the next episode for the Irish Race an hour. But look, I've been Shane Rooney. If you're having a bet tomorrow, the very, very best of luck. Hopefully we can turn the form around and get back to winning ways. But like I said, just be reasonable and be responsible, and just bet what you can afford. I wouldn't necessarily be the best flat tipster on the world in the world, but we got a nice little 16-1 winner there in Goran Park the last day. So hopefully we can do the same again. Thanks very much. Best of luck tomorrow, and please make sure to keep liking, sharing, and subscribing. Thank you very, very much.